different. We are still going to have 1 million cups this morning. A little bit different this morning. We got two great entrepreneurs through Pipeline and also through Ennovar. And I'm not going to waste any more time, but I'm going to get the show on the road. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Pipeline entrepreneurs.
Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it? Or just let it slip? Yo.
Hold on, you're going to push that button, aren't you? You're going to push that button. All right, you ready? Here we go. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for opening up your day with us and drinking coffee and being quiet. You'll see that video was very short because in 10 years of Pipeline, we've learned about the attention span of entrepreneurs and those who support them. So thanks for watching for those 30-some seconds. I'm Joni Cobb, Pipeline President and CEO, flanked by a couple of our entrepreneurs who are going to say a couple things. But first, if you don't know what Pipeline is already, Pipeline is a fellowship of high-performing entrepreneurs who call the Midwest home. And what does a fellowship mean? A fellowship means we focus on the entrepreneur, the founder, their skills, their resources, their networks, their support in leading not just this high-growth company, but all the ones they may do over the course of their lifetime. And it is for high-performing entrepreneurs. It is for entrepreneurs who really want to build something of scale. And it is any industry. We're looking for that drive and passion to build something big. And they call the Midwest home. And what does that mean? It means that we want to support entrepreneurs where they reside, to stay where they reside. They want to stay in their communities. And we believe that we can do that by surrounding them with the peers and the support and the networks that they need for their entire careers. So that is what we are about. Our first year is what we're talking about for applying. When you come into the Pipeline, and if you need to apply by October 19th to be in the 11th class, when you come into Pipeline, you go through what most people think of a Pipeline, which is that first year, that fellowship year, and where you go to all the modules and you have a class and you get announced at the innovators and all of that. And that is wonderful and terrific. But what is even more tremendous is the ongoing relationships and supports of our members. Some people call them alums. They are not alums. They continue to work with Pipeline and each other for the entire careers. And that's why they're here with us today. And so I'm going to turn it over first to Tim Donnelly, who besides looking really stellar in that film, I'm going to call it a film, is also the president of our membership and was in the charter class. And he has something a little special to say about this room we're in right now.
It was, I think, 11 years ago, about the same time, that I was accepted into the Pipeline program. And it was right in this room. And I tell you what, it gives me chills right now because it was such a blessing to be accepted, to make it through my first year, the charter class, fellowship class. And today, 10 years after I graduated, I tell you what, it confirms the blessing. And it's because of the membership and the camaraderie, us looking out for one another. It's us sitting on each other's boards, investing in each other's organizations, taking trips together, hearing our story time or fireside chats, where the entrepreneur, the member, tells a very deep story about their journey and maybe particular moments that can be learned from others. So it's an outstanding program, and again, it was 11 years ago on this, I think it was about this exact time, that I was brought into this organization. And I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy Jones to talk about the fellowship year.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jeremy Jones, and I'm CEO of Nitride Solutions here in Wichita. We've been around since 2009. And I remember a year after we started the company, Trish Bracestead came to me and said, you ought to apply for Pipeline. And I said, boy, I don't have enough stuff to do already. I need something on top of the pile. Well, I'll tell you, it was the best decision I ever made in my life to get into the Pipeline Fellowship. We have this intense year of 4 modules, finance, market validation, things like that. Everyone gets something different out of it. I got the ability to communicate You know, I came into this with the attitude, I've been in business for a long time. I know how to do this stuff. Well, what I didn't know is how to tell people why they should invest in my company or what the value I was bringing. And we had this one module, communication, at the very end that really opened up everything for us. It allowed me to raise $10 million since that time from individual angel investors. It allowed us to communicate the value to the company and to customers, and it really changed our lives. Plus, it gave me this network of people I didn't have before. I'm not from the Midwest.
And you have 10 seconds.
Yep. And I would heartily urge you to apply to Pipeline. Thank you.
And we have an announcement, and we're going to let our friends on video make the announcement that we're doing here today at Accelerate the Heartland.
Do you know what's happening next summer?
Yeah, we actually got some sunshine back, which would be nice.
Yeah.
We have Seafair. We have some startup activities happening here with Techstars and 9 Miles. We got a full activity list.
Wow, and you're going out on the boat and doing all
Going
the
on
fun
the boat, having some fun.
Yeah.
Going up to the mountains. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Wow.
Right.
Well,
What are you doing?
Do you know what I'm doing?
Mm-mm.
Actually, do you know what we're doing?
Fill me in.
Well, we're actually hosting Pipeline and their entire family
No way.
out here in Seattle. Yes, we are.
Awesome.
And we're so excited that you're all going to be here from Microsoft, but then we have all these amazing experiences planned for the entrepreneurs to meet technologists. SpaceX is here, Amazon is here. There's a whole bunch of amazing activities for spouses and families to like take advantage of. And as you can see, the Pacific Northwest is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So
More gorgeous in the summer.
yeah, talk about whale watching, hiking. I don't know what else, but
Beer,
yeah, I'm not
coffee.
telling. I'm not telling. It's a secret, so
Okay.
we'll let people find out. And looking forward to seeing everyone next summer.
Looking
Bye.
forward to it. Have a great
Yeah,
day.
You too.
These are my graphics. They're very So yeah, so that is the very end of our presentation. If you want to go to Seattle, if you want to be part of the family, you've got to apply by October 19th. Questions?
Well, thank you very much. And let's give them a round of applause. And with every 1 million cups, we always have about 15 minutes of Q&A. So I have the handsome Jake Ramstack over here and the other handsome Ted Crewell on this side.
I'm more handsome.
So if you guys have a question, please raise your hand high and they will bring the mic to you. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
I got one over here. Hi, could you tell me a little more about Nitride Solutions?
Yeah, Nitride Solutions is a manufacturer. We manufacture a material that's really transforming the electronics industry. And so, as you can imagine, coming out in 2009 with the worst downturn in 80 years, capital intensive, no proof of concept, need a lot of money to get going, that it was a real challenge. And but we've done it, and we've got customers, we're growing, and we're funding that growth with things that I learned in Pipeline.
That was a great segue.
On the right?
Can you talk a little bit more about what your company does? I get that you're in IT and you're producing that, but what is it you're doing?
Thunder's here.
We're transforming the electronics industry. You know, we have a material, you know, it's a very boring material, but it's a very powerful material. You can't, it's a material that doesn't occur on Earth. You have to make it at temperatures like the surface of the sun. And we're selling, we've got these custom-built reactors that glow when we run these things. We make a lot of this material, and it goes into things like LEDs, high-power switches, all those kind of electronic devices that really couldn't be made until now. Yep.
I got one over here.
Could you give a description as to your ideal company to apply for Pipeline?
So we get that question a lot, and what I would say is, first of all, the entrepreneur applies, not the company. And the ideal entrepreneur already has a company, a venture. They are the decision maker in that company. They are already showing some traction of growth, and that could be very different depending on what industry you're in. And you most likely are the type of person that would really flourish in the kind of the environment that we have that's like peer-driven and network-driven. It is not an instead of an accelerator or any of those programs. Those programs are incredibly important. They feed Pipeline. It doesn't mean you have to have gone through them, but certainly a lot of the people that apply for Pipeline have already leveraged those activities, and what they're trying to do is connect with other founders that are really striving to build something, so they have that company, that place where they can learn and be very open kimono about what they're struggling with. So it's really more about your traction and your trajectory and what you're trying to build in your personality than it is a specific industry or specific stage. Is that helpful?
What's the operating environment like here compared to, let's say, East or West Coast or wherever home was?
You know, for a business like mine, you know, manufacturing business is great. You know, as far as talent, we have strong connections to K-State, so we have that kind of talent pool for science. I'll say what's challenging is raising that amount of capital in the general area. So, but that's changing rapidly. I mean, 2009, it was a tough deal, but right now it's getting much easier, much more straightforward.
I need water.
Yes.
Sorry, I got an Irish cold.
The Guinness. Yeah. Any other questions?
Now's your chance. My email and voicemail is full of people that want to ask questions. The one thing that, yes, somebody's over there. I don't know who the handsome mic person is there.
I stepped in just a little late. Perhaps you addressed this, but to get to Seattle, how long is the event, and what is the agenda going to look like? And then finally, how much does it cost?
Okay, so all the fellows will be going to all the modules. So we have 4 modules a year, and then we have the innovators in January. So the modules are we're gonna send an e-blast out today immediately afterwards with all the module dates, but they are in February. We have innovators in January, then February, then this module is in June, and then we have one in September and one in November. And all modules except for this one are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so it's always a 3-day event. And they follow topics generally around the first one, market validation, the second one around their business models, the third one around financials, and the last one about integrating the year and then also communicating. But there's lots of subtopics, and we leverage whoever the experts are in the market we're in and deal with real-time issues out there. And the members come to the modules as well, so there's lots of additive content. The fellowship itself, so all the fellows will go on all the trips, and everything's included for the fellows, their hotels and transportation and all of that. People think we're crazy. One of our main funders from Kauffman Foundation, Victor's in the room, so he might still think we're crazy about that too. But we really try to support the fellows the best we can. The fellows do pay a $2,500, what we call logistics fee, which is not even close to what we spend on them in terms of hotels and airfare and all of that. But it's just a gesture towards the rest of our sponsors that are making the year possible. So that's it. And Pipeline doesn't take equity. It is absolutely founder-focused, and we are on the same side of the table just trying to support you. So, but there is absolutely zero tolerance to missing any part of the module. It's a fellowship, so you got to be there, and if you can't commit to those dates, it's not a good year. Does that answer your questions? Okay.
And I think one good thing to do is if you're a Pipeline fellow or member, would you raise your hand? We've got several.
Or how about stand up? That'd be even better.
Yeah, that's even better.
Stand up.
So they can see you. Oh, look at all of them.
If you're and
That's Carlos.
And if you're connected to our ecosystem, whether an advisor or national mentor, whoever, if you can raise your hand or stand up. So Trish.
Julie Nagel.
Yep, there's several out there. So if you have any other questions, please come see one of us, because this is a very, very special organization. I tell you, this is a lifetime membership that if you're serious about being an entrepreneur, a high-growth entrepreneur, come see us, and we're gonna try and get you in.
Well, I don't, you just opened a can of worms right there.
That's okay.
Yep.
And also, I just want to say one thing to the Wichita area. Our history with Wichita is deep. When we started, our very first recruiting event ever in 2006 was in Wichita. And we announced our first class, as Tim said, on this stage in Wichita. The Wichita Eagles' very, very first edition of their business pullout had us on the cover and on their billboards, and it was your class. And we've had 10 years of Wichita entrepreneurs that we hold very, very as very, very important members of our family. And I know not everyone here is from Wichita, but I just want to send that out, that Wichita is very important to our region and our ecosystem, and certainly to Pipeline. So we always want to have excellent, high quality applicants coming from Wichita because you're important to us.
Got a question right here.
Yeah.
How many people do you generally have apply? How big are your classes? And if we're not entrepreneurs, how can we get involved in your organization?
So the
That was like
application,
3 questions.
the application pool kind of varies, but it's over 100 and usually under 200. Generally, by the time people apply, they know what they're getting into. So it's a pretty, I've noticed through the 10 years, the applications are a pretty targeted group of people. What the second question was?
How big are your classes?
We don't have a cutoff per se, like written into stone, but I will tell you that we've never gone over 13 because the point of the fellowship is to build relationships, and also the technical aspect of getting through a day where everyone is standing up and everybody is talking about their companies. It's really difficult to do more than that. So we don't have a minimum or a maximum, but it has generally, in the last few years, been between 10 and 13, generally 13. Just because you start doesn't mean you'll finish. So we have had some classes that have started at 13 but not ended at 13 because, again, as we said, it's a zero tolerance in terms of attendance. And so some folks have learned that lesson through time. If you're not an entrepreneur and you want to get involved, go to the website, which is pipelines.com, and there is actually a place to tell people that you want to do that. We certainly have people that like to host, mentor, just be advocates, come to our networking events and things like that. And we keep a list of all of those people, and we get them engaged where we can. And if you have a big, giant sponsorship check, we would like that too.
Was there a question over here?
I thought so.
Oh, right.
Got it answered? Okay.
Got it, okay.
You'd mentioned Kauffman Foundation. Can you talk about the relationship there?
Yeah, so the Kauffman Foundation is incredibly important to the Pipeline family. When we very first started, in 2006, one of the first things I did because of my physical proximity to the foundation was I drove straight down and said, we don't want to start anything like this. And we were started in the state of Kansas and in the state of Kansas for the first 5 years. But we don't want to start anything this aggressive that's not being done anywhere else without your intellectual partnership. We want to know what you think. And so they were very generous and gave me books of things being started around the country or have been successful. And so they started off as very much an intellectual partner, and then through the years, as they saw it being successful and thought it should scale, they started conversations with us about how that might look. And then after 5 years, they came in and helped us become a regional organization, so a multi-state corporation organization with the help of a grant, a matching grant, where we went out and our own members matched it and other people in communities matched it so that we were able to leverage their powerful intellectual partnership but also financial sponsorship to make Pipeline available to a wider community. So they are now an intellectual partner, an advocate for us, a financial partner, and we can't even imagine doing this work without them.
Do we have any more questions? Come on.
Do you network with local educational facilities, like Wichita State? You said K-State, I heard that. And how do they participate in your program? And who are the instructors and what are their backgrounds?
Oh, that's a lot.
That was a lot of questions.
So first we'll start with our university partners. So we actually have university partners that both sponsor us as well as participate in our events, and also we bring entrepreneurs to them. And those are KU, Nebraska, WashU, and who am I forgetting? Mizzou. And we would love to have Wichita State and K-State, and we certainly have had lots of great conversations going on with them. But that doesn't preclude us from when leveraging those assets. So certainly a lot of our entrepreneurs are alums from those organizations and bring them in when they can. We also have a thing called the Spotlight Student Entrepreneur. So our university partners send to us in the end of October, beginning of November, kind of their award winner or who they think is their best example of innovation and entrepreneurship at the university. And then we work with them and with our entrepreneurs and national experts, and then they pitch at the innovators, and that has become a great highlight or spotlight on what universities are doing in entrepreneurship, as well as a supporter of those entrepreneurs that are really looking for kind of their next leg up. And then who are the instructors? The instructors have been culled from around the country for 10 years. And so we have some, what I would call long-standing folks that are the lead of a module. So they're not the only people that come into the module. So Joe Adzema, who's a senior fellow at MIT and has been the backbone of building that entrepreneurship programming at MIT, is on our board now and handles Module 1. And then he brought in Bob Jones, who also co-teaches the nuts and bolts of entrepreneurship at MIT for Module 1. Laura Kilcrease, who basically is the grand dame of building the Austin Technopolis scene in Austin back in the George Kosmetsky days through now. She leads Module 3. And then we are blessed to have both Chris Shipley and Nathan Gold. Nathan Gold is the demo coach out of California, who the Kauffman Foundation features in their founder school. And Chris Shipley was the head of the demo conference in California during the 90s heyday, and they lead Module 4. But important to know is that at every module, then we bring in local experts and local resources to facilitate during workshops and meet the entrepreneurs. So this isn't about just wonderful national people coming in and teaching our people and flying out. It's about integrating the local communities at every module so that our entrepreneurs have boots on the ground, support systems here when everybody else goes home. So it's a blend of national and local. Is that helpful? Great.
In the middle?
What's the ratio of women to men who participate in Pipeline?
So I'm assuming when you say participate in Pipeline, you mean get into the fellowship, because we have tons of women participating in Pipeline. I don't know that I know the ratio, but it's small. I mean, this year we have, Kim's here. Kim, raise your hand. We have a small number compared to the men, which is pretty much typical of the national numbers. What we have noticed, I will tell you, in the last few years is we've had a significant uptick in applications coming from women, and a significant uptick in those applications being, high growth entrepreneurial ventures. So whatever is going on in the communities to not just get the word out, but to support women entrepreneurs is obviously working, because we're seeing such a substantial uptick. So we have had more in the last couple of years than we have in the past, and I'm hoping that will continue. Our biggest thing that we can do is continue to get the word out in those communities and be a support to it so that we're bringing them in, because Pipeline is kind of more towards the end of the spectrum. And so what we need is those women supported all the way along so that when we're starting to pick those really standout stars, we've got a sufficient pool. So I'm very optimistic about it. It's very important to me. And I feel like we are seeing great improvement in that.
Awesome. Well, the last question, and probably the most important, is what as a Wichita community can we do to help you?
Does anybody else want to take this? I've been talking a lot.
Get your best entrepreneurs to apply and continue to support our ecosystem just like you have been. And it is, as Joni mentioned, it's just a great partnership that we have with the Wichita community. I've got some of my closest friends from Pipeline here. And so just get involved.
Awesome. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you so much for...
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Now you can...
Thank you, guys, again. We also have some people from the Kauffman Foundation. If you guys could stand up or raise your hands if you're already standing. They're the ones that allow the pipeline to go on, and also 1 Million Cups, so we're super thankful. If we can give them a round of applause. They're very instrumental. All right, well, we're just going to jump right into the next group. We have Yolanda and Kenton from Ennovar. They're ready to present, so give them a round of applause as they come up, and I'll step off.
Well, good morning. Thanks for coming out to 1 Million Cups. I did not know Yolanda was this popular. You all came to see her. That's amazing. But my name is Kenton Hansen, and this is Yolanda Adams. We are directors at Wichita State's Institute of Emerging Technology, Ennovar. We're 2 of the 5. We have Ryan Upmore and Matt Forney here today, and Alan Snyder is back at campus taking care of the ship. Ennovar has 2 goals. to offer applied learning opportunities to those bettering themselves. That can be in a traditional college setting at Wichita State or another university, or someone redeploying into another area of the workforce, and at the same time to help companies grow, expand, and fill their talent pipeline.
And how do we accomplish those goals, right? So through the applied learning opportunity, we connect the theoretical knowledge that you learn in the classroom, and we couple that with the practical experience in the server rooms. This gives our people a better understanding of how the real world really works. And we are a part of the university, so go Shocks, right? All right. We provide services to the industry, but we don't compete with industry. So we engage with industry to understand business needs, the challenges with business development, and uncovering those profit centers that are laying right underneath the surface of your company. But we deliver so that you can deliver.
But why? What are we doing this for? Well, we want to create a better tech workforce and a better tech workforce development in Wichita and the nation, really. We want to better connect the student body at Wichita State with the Wichita labor market, keep more of those students graduating here in the city. We want to create a better technology industry in Wichita and South Central Kansas to inspire innovation in education. We want to apply practical application of theoretical knowledge, and we want to support the Innovation Campus effort. We're one of the places where the rubber meets the road on that to start with. And we want to meet the needs of industry through practical application, including soft skills, interpersonal skills, and work ethic.
So this is not a new idea. The National Institute of Aviation Research has been around for 25 years under the direction of Dr. John Tomlin. The story of NIAR's business model goes back a long time ago. It shows that requiring professional expectations of students, it rewards our communities with a more talented and prepared professional workforce. So Ennovar is just a new market in NIAR's proven model, and the benefit of the business model has been measured with returns of the investment astounding. Let me show you how. So traditionally, when you hire a new college graduate, if they've had no practical application experience in the applied learning model, it could take a new hires manager 2 years to actually get that person up to speed and creating value, because you're not only reinforcing technical skills, but you're also teaching them soft skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, risk-taking, etc. So a college student that may have had a traditional co-op or an internship where they've spent a couple months at your company, where the first few weeks were just learning where to park and the last few weeks were having celebrations of all the interns leaving, you really only had a month of productivity, right? But even in that month when they leave and go back to school, it takes a long time when they come back and you hire them for them to get reacquainted again. So what our model actually proves, what this NIAR applied learning model that is part of Wichita State and President Bardo's mission for the entire university, it shows that you can take a student out of that applied learning model, and within less than 6 months, they will be productive, creating value. And so NIAR actually took that approach with 80 students. It inserted them into a company where they did the work day to day, after classes, however long, about 26 hours per week. Once they graduated, they were already acclimated with the company. They understood the customers, the products, the technology, etc. So they were creating value and being innovative in the aerospace industry in less than 6 months' time.
So what have we done? Well, in 24 months, we've hired 105 students. We've grown to a full-time staff of 14 individuals. We've completed 37, not 3 projects. And we have done all of that in things like software, web and mobile applications, electrical engineering, prototype creation, marketing, graphic design, solutions reference architecture, data science, and publishing of research, to name a few. All of that has been done towards the goal of applied learning. We've created in that process more than 72,000 hours of experience for students getting prepared for the workforce. We've been able to do that with these partners. And we've been lucky to work with these people. That include companies that you see on the slide and others who just wouldn't fit. Sorry about that, some of you. We've been lucky enough to work with global organizations as well as local small business and departments on the Wichita State campus. We've been creating projects that are used in production, projects that are used in the industry to do real things and create real value right now. The real test is in the middle of our results, however.
So you may be asking yourself, where are these students now? Well, it's of no surprise that they are creating value and innovating all across the country. And as you see, Wichita State, and as we all know, Wichita's second greatest export is its talent. So we have the opportunity to not only export talent, but keep it here. We don't have all the answers to the questions, but we can better hire for you. We can help you fill that pipeline better.
And with that, we want to, with the last seconds, all the directors in Ennovar would personally love to become a draw for more technology companies, more tech industry in Wichita, and grow that. Thank you. We're excited to answer your very pointed questions.
We made it 6 minutes.
Again, raise your hands if you have a question for Kenton or Yolanda, and Jake or Ted will come to you guys. Just for Kenton.
Just for Kenton. Thank you. It's funny, usually, I'm pointing them out in the audience so that everybody can see them, but this time I'm not supposed to do that.
So how did you get the river to look blue?
A lot of blue dye. You know the stuff they use at All-Star Sports? It's that same thing.
So how do the students get to be a part of Ennovar? Is it like a structured curriculum, or is it like a club or something they join?
There are a lot of secret rituals. I'm kidding. Through an application process at our website, ennovar.wichita.edu, we have an application process with open applications. We interview students, and I hate using the term students because oftentimes these are people who are ready for the professional workforce already. We're just giving them experience. So the people we hire from our website. We have open applications. Anyone can go apply there, send in their resume. That's one way. We also offer professional workshops that allow anyone to learn, everything from front-end development to mobile application development to full-stack web development. We have other things coming up through the Solutions Reference Architecture business unit, and we want to expand that as well. So as many ways as possible. Oftentimes I'll meet someone and I think, hey, you should be a part of this, and then say, come apply.
How do the companies in Wichita get involved with what you do?
A very similar process. You can talk to Yolanda or I or Ryan or Matt is somewhere here. Talk to any one of the directors, and we'd love to get in the room with you and basically give you this information again to anyone who wasn't in the room or you don't show this video to, and then connect you to Ennovar in a way that's most applicable and the best way for you. I'm going to let you answer a question. Geez, sorry. Man, what am I doing?
Ask Yolanda the easy ones and Kenton the hard ones.
Is it, your focus is 100% technology, talent, technology, or application of technology to business, and why, if it is, why just technology versus other operational agendas, manufacturing, service industry, et cetera?
Well, we are technology driven just because that is a backbone to all industry. Every industry needs a server room. Every industry needs to have some type of web presence if you're continuing to interact with your customers. However, since we are part of Wichita State, coming to Ennovar and working with Ennovar, we can utilize and leverage all the different applications that are available at Wichita State. So even if you're not looking for just a technology type of solution, come to Ennovar anyways, and we'll integrate Wichita State as a whole into your project or into your deliverable that's desired.
I'd also add to that I think every 21st century company is a technology company. That may not be the product you sell or the main thing that you do, but the efficiencies that you gain through technology make you more efficient. And if you're just not using, you can make buggies in Yoder. That's one way that you wouldn't use technology, but just about every other company would, right? And so that's what we're trying to help with.
What is your, sorry, I have the mic, so I'm just asking away. What is your fee structure like for companies that want to work with you, and do you pay the students, and how well do you pay them?
So that is actually part of the whole mission of the applied learning model. So you can either have a student going out and working at McDonald's or working at Applebee's, trying to make a living while they go to school, or they can continue to work in the industry that they plan to work in when they graduate. So students are paid. and they do the work on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, 20 hours a week normally is about how long they work in a week on a specific project. And so the fee structure is you can come to us with a project. We can quote it out as one straight bid, or we can make it an hourly project where it's paid on an hourly basis.
We also have products that we're working on that are specific product driven that you pay a licensing fee or just a price to have as well.
I think it hurts Kenton's feelings if he doesn't get to answer a question.
I'll not answer the next one. Sorry.
I'm kidding.
There's one.
Thanks, Richard, for
Just do that
waiting till the end.
It's a race.
My bet's on Ted.
And being the farthest away.
Got it.
So, Kenton and Yolanda, shouldn't I just hire a private developer? Because if I work at the university, aren't you just going to take the IP that you create from me as a private company?
Great question. No, the answer is don't go get another developer. Come to Wichita State, but we do have non-disclosure agreements. We work like industry, and it's your IP. So unless there's other circumstances where there's a reason for WSU to keep the IP, as the entrepreneur, the business owner, the IP is yours. Kenton?
I have nothing to add to that.
Right here.
You mentioned products. Can you name some?
Yeah, we have a product. It's kind of a conglomeration of two different products. It's called App Rapid. And what Wichita Sports Commission hired us to build an app for their Wichita Corporate Challenge. It just needed to be simple, and we saw the opportunity to build a simple app. So we actually have App Rapid, which allows us to put together in about 5 weeks, maybe a little bit less, a content-driven mobile application for you. So iOS and Android, published to the App Store, managed, and set up, ready to go.
So we are also entrepreneurial.
Just have to add, don't you?
Exactly, as well as providing service. So we try to benefit in both ways.
But in just a second, we'll bring something up that's similar. So yeah, foreshadowing there.
Here in the front.
Now for the easy question, how are you funded? Are you funded by these apps? What's funding you? What pays for your organization to happen?
Do I get to answer?
You're the director of finance, so
Thank
I don't
you.
even know.
So we are funded not through general use dollars from the state. We are not funded by tuition. We are funded by projects. So when you come to us and we quote you that bid for the project, that's how we fund our organization. That's how we pay the students, etc.
All these guys right here. And
Right here in the middle.
There's a tremendous need in this city for small business people who are startups, but they need the resources to do their social media, some of their engineering tasks they've got. And is your company affiliated with Wichita State or the other colleges to feed people from those colleges who want to do work for companies? How do they communicate? Like, I probably know 5 companies that need assistance in certain areas. So does the student get a hold of your company? Do they apply, or do they go through their organization at their college, or just how do they make the connection?
So a company would come to Ennovar, one of us or one of the other directors, and we would work with that company to develop a project, a scope, or a service model. And then we would work to find the students, make sure they were trained, make sure they had the information, and manage that student or retrained professional. I don't know why I don't like the term student, but I don't want you to think they're great people. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that we would find those students and we would make sure they're ready to produce the work that's actually there. So that's another benefit we have over the hiring your own developer or having your own internship program is you can outsource all of the overhead that goes along with that. And there's a lot of overhead and pain to us. We manage that because that's what we have built an organization and infrastructure to do, and let you just get the results that you want, as well as getting to know these students. So when they're ready to be hired, you've done a year-long interview with them, and you're ready to hire them. And you know this person as well as the work that they produced.
I'd also add that even though we're a technology industry, a technology institute at Wichita State, We hire students from all colleges and all disciplines because we understand that business is not about just one core capability. So we have marketing students, we have an MBA student, we have tons of engineering students, of course, because they're the ones that traditionally are coding, but there's tons of people that want to learn to code, and we have the software development workshops, etc. So it's not exclusive to any one club membership, but bring projects and we'll make it happen for you.
Hey, Jake, I'm doing jumping jacks. Yeah. Well, we can do I think there's a couple more, but then we have
got questions for you, Kenton.
So,
Settle
well,
down.
that's fine. I want to answer questions, but we have this.
On the right. Yeah. If you're able to disclose, what is the most complicated project you guys have worked on to date?
Well, I mean, that's really a difficult question to answer. We have 3 different main business units, right? Then a couple other minor business units that we develop prototypes that are, you take electrical engineers and a whole bunch of time. We have software projects that require 1,000 moving parts. The most complex, the most complex are probably covered by NDA at this point. We can't talk about
exactly.
them, which is a great scapegoat of an answer. So I'll leave it at that.
Right back here.
How is this different than the work that we do with the co-op program at the university, where they send students to work in our company?
I'll let Yolanda answer that question.
Thank you. I find it that what we're able to do with Ennovar and the applied learning model is that we're actually able to increase the level of student that you're able to get in a traditional co-op program. And so a lot of companies that I've talked to, we actually talk about, how about we put a project at Ennovar and you get this year-long interview process, and then out of that, then if you still want that person, consider a co-op then, versus spending all the upfront investment of co-op and quick turnover. Let us do the turnover for you, and then you get the best qualified person that way.
All right, Kenton, do your jumping jacks. It's all yours.
Okay. So, will you ask your question?
What can we, as a community, do for you, Kenton Hansen?
That is a great question.
Like you knew you were going to say it or something.
Obviously, let's do a project together, right? But secondly, we want to prepare our technicians, developers, designers, those people to work for you and to be the best they can be for our workforce. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is to get all of your perspectives. So I'd like to sit down with each and every one of you, not today, but I'd like to sit down with you and understand what is it that you're looking for in your workforce that you're not finding. What are you finding too much of? What do you like? What do you not like? What do you wish was there? What random thing that your company needs that maybe no one else does do you need to find in the people who are applying for your jobs? And if you're hiring people in technology, I want to talk to you just to get to know you, to understand, so that we have a relationship, and then we can build on that when you come to that. But then thirdly, the world needs more cool stuff, and Wichita needs more cool stuff coming from Wichita. So let's make more cool stuff. And as an experiment, I've talked about this a little bit before, and this may be a really stupid idea, but let's do it anyway. Can I get Benny and Austin and Seth to come up here with me to join Yolanda and I? And I'm going to grab this thing right here. How many of you have seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? Yeah, I see all your hands raised. You know the thing where it's like, okay, give me a profession or whatever, right? Well, instead of that, we're going to build a startup today. We have a room out there, and the 5 of us, Benny is one of our full-time staff at Ennovar. He's a designer. Austin is one of our lead developers. You know Yolanda. And then Seth Adder is one of our subject matter experts and a friend of mine who I can drag into situations where other people would not dare to go. So, with that, I'd like to ask anyone in here who has a problem that they face almost every day that they would pay $50 a month to never face again. Oh, there's hands raised already. Uh-oh.
Let's hear him. Let's hear him.
Let me hold that.
Do you want me to write them?
Put your hand back there.
I don't care.
Right.
Yep. $50.
I'm ready.
Well, I did not expect to get picked. getting a WordPress site just up and running and getting articles written, really making it happen.
Okay.
What else?
Traffic. I'd pay $50 a month not to have to do traffic.
Avoid or automotive traffic.
So
Okay.
like levitate.
We actually have an app already in the App Store. It's called Uber.
They developed that.
We have a couple ideas we thought of. Would you like us to go over those to give you some? Okay, great. Food for thought. Who wants to go first? Benny.
I do. So, as we were thinking about ways that we could kind of spur conversation or spur ideas, one thing I thought about is that my wife and I were both working full time, and so every single day it is an insane struggle for us to make lunch for the next day. Usually we end up eating out, going to buy lunch, doing whatever, and I know that's a huge thing for probably everyone, but we would pay so much money to just have boxes of food ready. We don't have to section it out in little baggies and different things, but we would pay so much money to have boxes of food delivered. We can put them in our fridge for that week and then pull one each day out for each of us. That would save so much time, save so many hours of getting up early because I didn't make lunch last night, and it would just really save a headache.
So you'd pay so much money, but presumably less money than you'd spend going out.
Yes,
Okay,
that's the
perfect.
goal,
No, that's
of course.
great.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the goal of
Great.
bringing your lunch. Yeah.
Less money, save time. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Well, Chad has an idea.
I got him.
Oh, you'll like this. Well, I'll like this. So I have twin 3-month-old girls. I would pay more than $50 a month if there was a way to automatically change their diapers.
Front right.
I want a design for that.
So every morning I want coffee, but I don't want to have to make coffee or go get coffee. So I would pay a decent amount of money to have just a giant thing of coffee delivered to my house every day.
Pre-made coffee, like it's liquid coffie. Yes. Okay. Like in a Okay. Well, I want to give my idea because it's possible. But I love my wife. I'm definitely married up. I want to go on dates with her. The problem I find with that is when I try to plan a date, like I'm busy. I do things during the week, and so it's like, oh, let's plan a date, and it ends up being like Saturday morning, and we're planning on going out on Saturday night, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do. Do you want to go to dinner or what? So if there is a way that I could get my dates planned for me, which I admit reduces the romanticism a little bit, but it's like I'm thinking about it now, and so I thought about it then, and then I have like, okay, here's the thing that I want to do, and maybe it's just food for thought, but auto dating. Auto dating?
Auto date night. Call it date
Auto
night.
date night. Yeah, that's better.
I've got one right here in the middle, Kenton.
I would pay $50 a month to have somebody clean and maintain my motorcycles. I'd pay $50 a month for somebody to do all my landscaping, and I'd pay $50 a month for somebody to caulk and paint my house.
Where's Lawn Buddy at?
Lawn Buddy.
Yeah, Lawn Buddy is right over there. And then caulk and what?
Paint.
Paint and caulk.
Kenton, on your idea, make sure you put babysitting as part of your auto date night.
Yes.
The Date Maven has a date idea.
Well, yeah. My problem is I have a dead squirrel in my backyard. I don't touch dead things. Could someone come remove it?
Lawn Buddy.
Lawn Buddy. There you go.
He could mow over that thing.
Clear in the back. Clear in the back, Mr. Sam Foreman. So I think I'm like a lot of people. Time's really valuable, and there's not enough of it, but I've got a lot of stuff that I've got to do. It'd be really helpful to have an app that I could plug into just the different things that I need to do, maybe an address attached to them, and when they've got to be done by, and it could optimize around my schedule. I think, whether it fits in this week, next week, this quarter, whenever it has to be done by, and optimizes around what I've already got going on. So maybe I'm already in that part of town. Maybe I'm on my way to work, and it just kind of fills it in where it needs to be. And I think something like that could save me hours of time a week or a month.
So Yolanda, you should tell your pre-idea. Oh, you want me to?
Yeah. I want you
Okay.
to do
So
that.
she talked about. She called it lazy husband, but I don't think that's a reflection
My
of her
husband's
relationship.
not lazy at all.
I think maybe that was sexist. I don't know. But lazy husband, so like you can put in dates and reminders to like make sure you do things, like anniversary or birthday, or hey, Valentine's Day is a month away. Hey, idiot, Valentine's Day is 2 weeks away. Go ahead and order one of these things, like so that kind of thing. But I think I like the expansion that you're talking about of just like whatever, rando. I have an errand I need to run, and when you detect that I'm on this part of town, go run that errand, idiot. Yes? Idiot reminders for Sam. I won't write that down.
Well, since some of us had the opportunity of going through a storm last night, and I have a war zone in my yard and 2 big mature trees laying all over the place, I'd pay $50 to have somebody I could call and actually would come on time, get the job done, remove them, and make life a lot easier for me.
Okay, so Stephen Warner, are you in this room?
His name is Lawn Buddy.
I'm seriously not kidding. I've seen his business plan,
Buddy.
and like what you guys are talking about is literally it. So go see Stephen Warner with Lawn Buddy. We're not going to make his app. I mean, hopefully we're going to make his app, but
He's actually showcasing in the
okay,
Innovation
he's
Showcase
showcasing.
today.
Yeah, so
go
over
next
in
door,
the showcase,
lawn stuff.
Lawn Buddy, they do that. I bet they do the squirrels, Susanna.
There's a special running on squirrels.
A special on squirrels. But I think the downside is they keep the squirrel, so you can't make stew afterward. I don't know if that's extra or not.
So they're going to start something. We got just a few more minutes. Anybody have another idea?
So, Kenton, have you explained and established what we're going to do with these ideas yet?
Well, we're going to go build one of them. So we're actually going to go into a room over there. It's kind of open. Like if we have headphones on, don't bother us. But come on in and look at what we're doing. We're going to go validate these ideas. We're going to talk to people. We're going to see which one we can actually do and then start building it. So at 3-ish today and at 5-ish today, maybe both, maybe one of those times, I'm actually going to come back up and talk about how that's gone, like detail that. I'm also going to be live blogging that, and I'll tweet the link to that. So go to twitter.com/KentonH, and you can find where you can read how we're spending the day. And then hopefully at the end of the day, we'll actually have a product that some of you will want to buy, and you'll be able to buy it, one of these ideas. So,
and
or this idea.
The whole purpose is to show that if you have an idea, if you are an entrepreneur and you are pumped about this idea, don't let the planning and the iteration of that idea scare you away. It doesn't take months and months and months of planning and coding and app development and designing and everything to get a viable product off the ground. And so we're kind of calling this startup in a day. And I think it's to show that and help people to lessen their scary view of what it's like to get their idea off the
We'll
ground.
find out later if we call it Startup in a Day or How to Waste a Wednesday.
We got 2 ideas right here. I hope they're not lawn related.
So I have a job where I have to keep track of what I do during the day, and it's the bane of my existence. So some sort of automatic time entry of what I've done. If you guys could develop that and just erase everything else, that'd be great.
In the middle?
There's one over there.
Workaholic. Never mind.
But I have to say what I do, every 6 minutes. So something to automatically populate that.
6 minutes.
So it's an app. If an app is if you're taking app suggestions, I'm in. I need to tag the tag. There's all kinds of dry cleaning apps out there. Come get your dry cleaning, whatever. But I always cut the tags out of my clothes. Tag does not make it in my closet, and then I need to go wash something. I'm like, oh, is that dry clean or is that wash? And I wash it, and I'm out of sweater. So some kind of thing where you could take a picture of the tag, and then you just sort real quick, shirt, blouse, jeans. Then by color, wash, dry, and then within 2 or 3 little scrolls, you know if you're going to the dry cleaner or you're doing laundry.
Interesting.
So Kenton, what's next?
So what's next is we're going to go.
one more idea.
I think we got one more idea.
We'll take these pads over here, and you can give the rest of ideas because I don't want to step on the rest of the program. So we're going to go work on an idea, and if you have an idea, come share it with us, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens.
They're in the room right next to the Wichita Chamber, so look for Damon John's big picture, and they're right next to that room right there. So go check them out, and Kenton, last words.
Thanks for coming.
Good job, guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you all very much for coming. I know those of you that are, I'll get on stage, give me 1 second. So for those of you that are staying for the